Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for attending our Colorado State University Pueblo webinar to go over our Masters of Business and Administration programs here at CSU Pueblo in the Hassan School of Business. Today we have some individuals that have joined us to go through the program itself. We have Yaneth Corina Martinez as well as Jamie White, and we have an individual that joined us who has graduated. My name is Nick Lagrasso. I am the enrollment counselor here for our Extended Studies online programs, and I'm excited to start off this agenda. So we'll go into a little bit more introduction of the program. Each individual will introduce themselves, and then we'll go into program details like course offerings, concentration areas with HSB outcomes and student testimonials, as well as cost scholarships, admission requirements. And then right now, we'll kind of go into a little bit of surface of the MBA program. So this program is 100% online. It is an asynchronous modality, which if you don't know what asynchronous is, it is an online program that does not have any class time associated with the class. So you can start your homework at 2 o'clock in the morning or 11 a.m. It really just depends on when you can fit that into your schedule. Each class is 8 weeks long and accelerated. So what that means is we have a 16-week semester, so we still work in fall, spring, and summer semesters, but our semesters are 16 weeks long. We reduce them down to 8 weeks, so you're still getting that 16-week curriculum just in that 8-week time frame. The nice part about that is then we do actually have 2 entry points to our semesters. So we have what is called an A session and a B session, and you can enter in each of those or start in either one of those. So it's a rolling start to kind of give you that. You can complete this program within as little as a year. That would take probably a full-time status, but we do offer a part-time opportunity for anyone that is wanting to take one class at a time. 2 other really great benefits of this program is we do have a GMAT waiver, which I'll let Jamie White, the advisor, kind of go more into that. And then the other one is our accreditation for the MBA program. So Hassan School of Business has got an accreditation association to advance the Collegiate School of Business. I'm going to let Yaneth go into more detail with that going forward as we go into the course offerings. So now I'd like to introduce Yaneth. I'm going to pass that baton off to her and go into course offerings. Yaneth, you're on mute. No worries.
Sorry about that. My name is Yaneth Correa. I'm currently an associate professor at the Hassan School of Business. My area of expertise is production and operations management. And as Nick mentioned, our institution is AACSB accredited. That's a very prestigious accreditation that is international. So basically your MBA will have added value across the world. More than 100 countries are members of the AACSB, and there are around 1,000 schools accredited, making it like we are within the 10% of the accredited schools in the world. So that basically adds, as I mentioned before, adds value to your resume. Now, jumping into the course offerings, our school designed the MBA in such a way that you can get a general MBA where you basically can aspire to take a leadership role in any of the different areas of a business. And for that, we make sure that during your course offerings, you are taking all the classes that you need to effectively do your job. So we have accounting, we have economics, we have productions and operations management, we have organizational behavior, We have information systems, and we have marketing. With that general MBA, you pretty much can go to any industry and take these leadership roles. In addition to what we call the core, which will allow you to kind of be very proficient in those areas, we allow you to take electives, and those electives are chosen based on your interest. So for example, we have international marketing, we have management of human resources, and we have advertising and promotion research. Now, if you have a particular interest, and we have identified that there are two industries in this moment that are kind of high demand for MBAs, you can take one of the two concentration areas that we are offering. We are offering healthcare management, and healthcare. The healthcare concentration will allow you to apply that MBA knowledge in very specific settings. In this case, we are talking about healthcare providers, healthcare offices, et cetera, et cetera. So we keep the core because it's important that you understand all the parts of a business, but then we offer additional courses associated specifically with the healthcare industry. We have one course in ethics, law, and policy, another one in healthcare business and finance, and organizational and systems leadership, because that component is critical to provide efficient and effective care within a healthcare setting. And international business is still there because you, again, because of our accreditation and because of your interest, you pretty much could use your MBA in healthcare, in the healthcare industry all over the world. As you can see, these offerings are usually 3 credit hours with a few exceptions in the healthcare concentration, and those exceptions are associated with the depth that we go into when it comes to healthcare management. I'm gonna hand it over to Jamie now, and she's gonna talk to you about the other emphasis area that we have, the concentration area, which is public administration.
Hi there, I'll briefly introduce myself. I'm Jamie White. I'm the coordinator for online business programs here at CSU Pueblo. I mainly work with advising for our business degrees through extended studies. So we'll kind of just chat a little bit here about some of the course offerings in the public management concentration. So as Yaneth was explaining before, much of this concentration does also take into account the core of the business administration degree. You can see your accounting, international business, management, information systems, economics for managers, production operations management, and then your management policy and strategy are all still included in this degree plan. In addition to this, you have a few public management specific courses, your public and nonprofit leadership, public budgeting and financial management, the essentials of public and nonprofit management, and the public policy process. And then underneath that, we do allow you to choose 2 of the following courses listed below, in addition to those. And so the total comes out to 36 total credit hours in this concentration. We will pop over to the next slide. I am going to hand this back to Yaneth to discuss a little bit more about the healthcare concentration outcomes.
Thank you, Jamie. So as I mentioned before, once you go into this program, if you get a general MBA degree, you have a plethora of opportunities when it comes to actually apply this knowledge. You can work in marketing as a marketing manager or as a research analyst, depending on whether you are more prone to leadership roles or you are more into the details of the of marketing. You can also be an operations manager, which I'll highly encourage you to. You will be working in procurement, buyer planner. You can be a master scheduler, which is like a hot job now that, you know, companies need to optimize their schedules, and they need to make sure that you deliver your product and service at the right time to the right person in the right presentation. You can be a supply chain analyst. If you are more oriented towards handling your human capital, so human resource management is something that you can perfectly do if you get the general MBA. You can be a recruiter, which we have several successful alumni. Now they are, some of the hottest recruiters on LinkedIn. You can be an HR director, or you can be an HR business partner. If you go into the healthcare concentration, as I mentioned before, you will be basically able to provide insights and take meaningful actions to optimize the delivery of healthcare services. It's no secret to anyone that we have a crisis in the healthcare sector, and you will be brought in to kind of make things better, to optimize budgets without compromising the quality of care with your patients. You can be also your own, if you have that entrepreneurship bug, you can create your own consulting businesses. This is something that you wouldn't believe how high in demand it is, because hospitals, home health care, services administrators, they are all looking to do better with less. So you will acquire the tools that will allow you to provide insights on that. Also, you will be able of managing home health care facilities, which, as you know, with the aging population in the US, is going to be one of the most highly demanded fields in the next 20 years. So you can use multiple hats when you get this degree, because we have carefully crafted the offerings in such a way that you know what is needed, and you know how to supply the company that you're working with those, and how to meet those specific needs. Now I'm going to hand it back to Jamie, and she's going to talk about the public administration concentration.
Okay, so I'm going to dive into a little bit more about the outcomes related to the public management concentration. First being gaining knowledge and skills that are vital to both public service and the business world. So the line between business, government, and nonprofit are blurrier than ever. So much of public service is now done through private sector grants, contracts, partnerships, and the like. And businesses can ill afford to ignore policy change or not build healthy relationships with public sector stakeholders. The unique blended coursework from the public management emphasis gives you the knowledge and skills to navigate both the public and the private world. You'll thus be valuable to government agencies, nonprofits, and businesses alike. For business-focused students, the courses will allow you to better navigate the government programs and bureaucracies, as well as understand how policy changes impact your firm. These are vital skills in the modern business world. And so the applied coursework is going to allow you to build connections in the field and amongst, as well as see how theories and principles work on the ground. Courses have a heavy focus on case studies, service-based projects, and opportunities for collaboration with both the instructor and other students. And so in addition to government-focused public management, courses delve into nonprofit management, leadership, and financing as well. You will have the opportunity to start or advance your career in government or the nonprofit sector by becoming a public management student. Some facts here: about 14% of the US workforce works for federal, state, or the local government. 10% of the workforce works in the nonprofit sector. So some careers would be in program management, policy analysis, local economic development, government, public relations, budgeting, arts management, nonprofit leadership, fundraising, and grant writing, and many more. So lastly, just want to mention that you are, of course, doing well by doing good. In working in the public sector, you can affect positive change with an issue or a cause that you're passionate about, all while earning a salary and benefits comparable to the private sector. We are going to switch to the next slide and then further discuss. We do have a student a graduate of the online MBA program, Philip Schultz, here with us today, who's going to speak a little bit about his experience in the online MBA program. Feel free to read the student testimonials that are included on the slide while Phil speaks. I will hand this over to you now, Phil.
Thank you, Jamie. Much appreciated, and happy to join on this call to talk about my experience with CSU Pueblo's online MBA program. Yeah, the CSU Pueblo online MBA program, it was really great. I'm from Pueblo, born and raised, so I knew of CSU Pueblo growing up. I went to college out of state, and when I got back, I came back to Pueblo for my first job. Worked at a multinational steel company and logistics and inside sales. And while I was there, I noticed that a lot of my coworkers were getting the MBA online while they were working. Kind of put that in my mind. And 2 years later, I moved out to Asia, and it was a really good time for me to get that degree. So I enrolled with CSU Pueblo online. And I ended up doing my online MBA from 3 different continents across a number of years. And that's one of the best parts of the MBA is it was very flexible, and that asynchronous model and being able to take any class in any order was really helpful to work around work constraints, personal things, all of that. Additionally, the MBA, it's really tailored to students of all different types. It's very well-rounded. You didn't have to be a business major to do those courses. And it was of great value as well. The value of the AACSB accreditation and MBA, but still have that flexibility was fantastic. Additionally, I found that the professors that I had for the MBA were also very good. Very responsive. I mean, again, I was on a different continent, but I was able to talk to professors on the phone when I was back in North America. I actually met some of my professors in person. They'd help me out with coursework, and that's just the kind of attention that you're not going to get from most online MBA programs. And at the end of the day, that MBA allowed me to earn a qualification that would separate me from the pack when applying for jobs in the future and get those preferred qualifications. So it's just a great program, and I highly recommend it.
Thanks for sharing that, Phil. Really appreciate that information. So now we're going to kind of move on and talk a little bit about another important piece, of course, costs and scholarships. So firstly, would like to say that a huge perk of the online MBA program is that we do offer a flat rate tuition. You don't have additional fees. So our cost is $575 per credit hour, leading to a total cost of $21,275 for the online degree. We do offer scholarships, and currently we are offering a new fall graduate student scholarship. So if you are new to the online graduate program and you are enrolled in a minimum of 6 credit hours for fall, you could be eligible for a $1,000 scholarship. If you are local to Pueblo, feel free to reach out to Nick regarding any other opportunities that may be available. So we will also dive into now admissions requirements for the online MBA program. Firstly, you will need to have a baccalaureate or a bachelor's degree to apply to this program. As mentioned earlier, the GMAT is a requirement, but there is an option to waive that requirement by taking a 1 credit hour writing course your first semester in the program. We do require a personal statement on the application. And at the time of the admissions process, the department will determine if there are any prerequisites required. Here's a list of those prerequisites. And if they are required at your first advising session with me, we'll discuss the prereqs that are needed, and we will map out your degree plan according to the timeline that you're looking for. I'm going to pass this back over to Nick to discuss the application process and next steps.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Aneth, as well as Phil, for being on this webinar. But I wanted to just reach out and say, if this is a program that you are highly interested, your next steps would then be to fill out an application if we're the best fit from your research and looking at other schools. Once you fill out that application, the requirements of their application, then you would have to upload a personal statement as well. Once that's completed, then you can submit your application. Then from there, we will need a full academic history of your anywhere you took college credits. So whether you transferred in something from your bachelor's, we will need those official transcripts sent to us via email, which is electronically at the info@csupueblo.edu, or you can definitely mail those out to us if you have a sealed envelope or have the institution mail them or fax. And then from there, once we have all your materials of your application, it will be sent to the department for review. Once they've reviewed and you've been admitted, then that's when we can actually schedule an appointment with Jamie. I help with that, so you either can reach out to me or I'll reach out to you to schedule that, or Jamie will reach out to make sure that happens. From there, Jamie will then register you for classes. So again, if we're something, an institution that you're interested in, those would be your next steps moving forward to get closer to starting your MBA. Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and we really hope that you consider CSU Pueblo for your next steps in your educational journey. Now, if you have any further additional questions, all three of us are happy to answer those, and here's our contact information. So you're either can email or call us to get those questions answered. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thanks again for joining our webinar here at CSU Pueblo for the MBA.